What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another impression video, right? And we're gonna try to keep this kind of short, to the best of our abilities. And we're gonna be doing a impression video on 2xKO, right? So for those that don't know, right, 2xKO is the name of a upcoming and anticipated fighting game made by Riot Games, right? The infamous, the famous company that is known for two of their popular games that are already out. A MOBA called League of Legends, right? And the other is a FPS shooter called Valorant. Riot thought of the idea of hey, let's go expand our borders a little bit instead of just sticking to FPS shooters or even MOBAs. And so they thought of a fighting game, right? And the fighting game was originally called Project L until it got the name drop 2xKO. 2xKO, 2 times hugs and kisses. 2 times kisses and orgies.
What?
Recently, 2xKO announced that they would be having an alpha lab, right? Which is their version of a typical fighting game beta or a demo, right? Before the game comes out, the 2xKO devs, Tom and Tony Cannon, sent out alpha lab codes to select participants via if you have signed up for the playtest. You can get your chance to play 2xKO and give them feedback on what you like about the game, what are some pros and cons about what you think of 2xKO. I thought it'd be cool because the Khaiza has gotten the chance to play 2xKO through indirectly, right? I was depressed, I was grieving, I was moaning and begrudgingly in a tight spot. I didn't get the chance to get my own code for 2xKO, but luckily a homie of mine by the name of Glock Saint, and his real name Orlando, right, hooked me up with a 2xKO referral code, a friend referral code, and I was lucky enough to get the chance to play 2xKO and spend some time with the upcoming fighting game. I played a day of me labbing 2xKO, just discovering what the characters can do, how the combos and the controls were and then spent the next 2 days playing online with Orlando and a short time probably myself. So basically we're doing an impression video of what is good about 2xKO and what needs some adjustments with 2xKO. Overall, 2xKO is, we're in the era of fighting games, right? So this is once again Riot's approach of a fighting game, but it's not the usual 1v1 fighting game that we would see Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Tekken. Heck, even KOF 15, and that KOF 15 is a totally different fighting game altogether. This is a modern day assist-based fighter, right? So assist-based fighters would be, a perfect example of that would be, Marvel vs. Capcom, right? MVC or Dragon Ball FighterZ, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Games that have you can call on a Battle for the Grid is also a good example, right? So this is an assist-based fighter. When you start 2xKO, you'll start to notice the controls and the mechanics of the game. And yeah, this is the most assist-based fighting game that I've ever seen in the history of assist-based fighting games forever, right? So the control schemes are 2xKO are very, very, very simple. There's light, medium, and heavy, right? There's S1 and S2, right? Which is your special moves. There's no motion inputs. There's no motion inputs at all, right? So it's definitely on the reins of Battle for the Grid. And then you have a tag button, right? And tagging, like, you can tag your partner via like assist, but that does not stop there. It's not like simple as like assist. It's really like the mechanics of 2xKO is a mix of, well, no, it's really much Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. That's what this game really tries to get at me. I think I said this in like my discovery video. It's like an amalgamation of all of the different versus games that have come to existence, sort of thing. So it really is crazy that we're getting like a new fighting game, and it's an assist-based fighter, which we haven't seen like in a long time because we're so used to like the typical 1v1. So we haven't seen like an assist-based fighter in a long time, right? Assist-based fighters kind of like faded away, and the only one that's like was kind of like prevalent or like still existing is Dragon Ball FighterZ to like a casual like degree. Dragon Ball FighterZ, right, is, you know, the best Dragon Ball fighting game to play. It still is existing, it still has legs, it still is having their usual tournament scenes like Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour, and it will still be getting balance adjustments to this day by Tomoko Hiroki, the executive producer of Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? So Dragon Ball FighterZ still has legs to this day, like unbelievably so. The only one, that's like the only exception, but for the most part, there's not really a lot of like assist-based fighters that are kind of like out there or has a lot of like, you know, popularity, right? So 2xKO is like, yeah, like the next big one with assist-based fighter. The mechanics of 2xKO, it has simple controls. You can do like really cool swaggy looking like combos with certain like characters. And the tagging system is really like Battle for the Grid. You call out like an assist, like you throw out an assist, and then you press like the tag button again to switch to your character for a favorable mix-up option, right? So 2xKO is once again like the culmination of most of these like tag-based fighters, that have been known to us for a tag-based fighting game history, right? So for the most part, 2xKO is like, I think, brilliant, right? I haven't had like the itch for like an assist-based fighting game for like a really like long time, right? The moment I like discovered like the things that you can do with like specials and stuff, it gave me like that raw feel that I didn't quite like get for like a long time, you know? Because again, we're so like used to the Street Fighters and the Tekkens, the 1v1s, right? That, yeah, I just like on occasion just lab like, I think like Marvel 3 or like Battle for the Grid to get me like my assist-based feels. Most of my friends don't play 2xK, don't play assist-based fighters, but they respect it enough to, you know, agree that like, hey, those are like the greatest like fighting games of all time. Everybody's casual favorite fighting game assist-based fighter is Marvel 2, right? Marvel 2 is pretty goated because of the large roster. 2xKO is based off of the League of Legends IP. So League of Legends has like 150 plus champions in there. Like if I were to like, I only like remember like 75% of them.
Bruh.
But it's a long list, a long order, so having that like ambitious roster would be like a little bit too much for 2xKO. Right now 2xKO has so far 6 confirmed characters. 8 are like hidden away in reserves until the next bit of information for 2xKO. And so far we have Yasuo, we have Echo, we have Ari, we have Darius, we have Ilaoi, and we have Braum, which is like their latest character. So we have like 6 characters in a overdosed, like overstimulated Marvel vs. Capcom Battle for the Grid game, and the combos feel so like nice to like see and like pull off. Again, it's very Battle for the Grid-ish, so there's not a lot of like, you know, execution with like specials. So you get to pull off like cool ass like combos with the press of like a button and like a direction. Another callback I made to Street Fighter Cross Tekken, where like you hit somebody in that game with like a light, medium, heavy auto combo string, and then you press like the heavy attack button again, you get to switch to your partner. Similarly in here, you land like an auto combo or land like a solid hit, you get to switch to your partner and it becomes like a launcher. Launchers are down, forward, heavy. You have crouching attacks, you have low attacks. Down heavy attacks are like your anti-airs, right? You have your S1s and S2s. You have special, you have supers, which is, they cost 1 bar of meter, but it's down super 1 or down super 2. And if you want to do ultra, which is like it costs 2 bars, you do down super 1 and super 2 to get your big like ultimate move. So it has the least barrier of execution that is, vice versa, like the most accessible control scheme like there is. As far as like combat is, and there's more, right? 2XKO also has different fuses, right? Fuses are, think of them like grooves or the Infinity Stones in in CVS2 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite respectively. They allow you to expand like your options in mid-game, right? So different fuses come in the following. There's Pulse Fuse, which is kind of like your beginner-friendly pulse. This allows you to do auto combos, kind of like Dragon Ball FighterZ combos. Dragon Ball Fighter auto combos with corresponding specific buttons. Lights do like light damage, mediums do have meter involved, and heavies are like your level 2 like ender combos. So you have like pulse combos, and you could just like learn the game without worrying about like some of the more technical know-hows of assist-based fighters. Freestyle, right? Freestyle, which I didn't get to like play around a lot, but essentially is you get to handshake twice, which is kind of like your Battle for the Grid tag switch or MVCI switch. You get to throw out assist, then you get to switch again, and then you get to do over and over again. You get to do up to 2 times the handshake tag switch, right? Very oppressive. Then there's Fury, which is like if you're down on life, if you're down on an assist, you get not only a damage boost, but also a dash cancel for your one and only character. Then there's Double Down, which is you get to do Team DHC or double hyper combo / delayed hyper combo. When you throw out your own super, you get to follow up with either your partner's or your assist partner's super / ultimate. Double Down, then there's 2 times assist. So you can throw out assist 2 times. So you can do like, let's say like one character's like assist and then do a second assist, because you know traditionally assist-based fighters always have like just one assist and then that's it. They have to be in recovery until you get to summon them back again. Now with 2x assists, you get to like summon them like twice in 1 round, which is very, very oppressive. On top of like handshake tag, dude, it becomes really oppressive. They get to stay out in screen for longer, right? So once again, I think like for the 3rd time, very much like a melting pot / amalgamation of all the different versus games of eons ago. And it's great, man. Like I love like doing like combos in 2XKO. I love like, you know, just like learning a new fighting game and just like discovering more things like about myself. Well, I've always been like an assist-based fighting game like lover, right? I love those like games, even though like I suck ass with them. I just love like the execution, the TODs, right? The long like mix-ups, right? Or the long like combos, the mix-up potential, right? Those are like my kind of jams, right? As I said, even though like I suck at them, but at least like it's awesome to look at. So like the combat in 2XKO is pretty impressive, right? I definitely love like, you know, the skills and discovery and the things that like you can like really do in 2XKO. As far as like online is concerned, yeah, online felt like pretty good. I did a lot of 2XKO matches with my boy Orlando, and then I did like some matches, you know, in solo. Solo matches are kind of like, yeah, that's like this like in my groove. But I think like the charming part about 2XKO is that you get to duo up with a homie. On the day that I played 2XKO with my friend Orlando, we were both playing as like a team against people, and it was just like the dumbest fun that we could ever like have. We were like losing, but man, did it feel like fun, just like, you know, doing shit, syncing up or locking in, right?
Yo, what the fuck was that?
Wow.
Left and raise. Whoa.
I saw that, bro.
Are you done?
Stand with me.
Bitch ass.
Bitch ass. Get that shit out of here, boy.
We shit out of here. You jumping in my airspace?
Ooh.
Oh my god.
That looks so cool. The online is really good. This is like rollback netcode, so nothing to like worry. There were like technically like a few matches that we kind of had like trouble with, but for the most part 2XKO was like pretty solid in the net play. Trying to like handle 4 people in one sitting, right? Which is kind of like, you know, the one fighting game that technically did that. I mean, of course, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but I'm like a new age like baby, so I can't really tell how the online was for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, because I haven't played online of it at all. But I definitely had experience with 4-player versus in Super Smash Brothers, and boy was that a pain in the ass. But yeah, like with 4 players, it just seemed to shape up like pretty well. Like we didn't have like any issues, right, online. I feel like that's where like, you know, the charm of 2XKO like boils down to, is like, you know, the combat of 2X, of the synergized combat of 2XKO. Like the whole thing of like, you know, League of Legends and whatever games that are under like Riot is all about like teamwork, right? Teaming up with your squad, or teaming up with like a partner, and then just like syncing up, and just if you're perfectly like synergized, then you could like go to town on anybody, right? Like you're an absolute like duo menace, right? Solos is like, you know, your average like online fighting game enjoyer experience. Just, yeah, you get to be in total control instead of just, you know, relying on like your opponent. You know, relying on your opponent on like in Riot games, I've had like bitter experiences with that, you know, just unless it's like with friends. But with random like dudes, I mean, that's like hypocritical right there, or contradictory right there. But yeah, I just like suffer a lot because I don't know what my teammate is like thinking or doing, you know, so it's very rough. But on the upside is that me and Orlando were just like chilling or discovering like ways to like play the game, and it was an absolute blast. Like again, it's like a new fighting game like on the block, and we were just like learning as we go. The lobbies though, yeah, that one is kind of like, you know, the bridge between, you know, pros and cons, and we will get to like cons soon. But yeah, like the lobbies were charming, right? There are definitely some Tekken-inspired lobbies. You get like a chibi avatar, you get to dress them all in like goth or like furry clothing, and then you just like go into the lobby. The lobbies are nice. Very like, you know, rich in color, neon colors and all that jazz, so it's really dope to look at. Though my only like complaint is that they have like the main like game window screen or the game window TV, and it highlights who is at like the front of the lobby, and the game audio is playing. So when you're like trying to like relax like I am, and I'm just like trying to, you know, talk to like chat or like live streaming or just like discussing my experiences, it can be like kind of like a headache sort of thing, you know? So it was just like too much noise, and I had to like get the fuck out of here and just like go back to quiet and then jump back into like online, because I don't know, like I can't like stand. I'm sure it's like fine or tolerable to others, but for me, like no can do. There's like a tutorial which definitely like needs some work. There's also like a battle pass which you can do, which is like, you know, kind of like an everyday like fighting game situation. Every like fighting game now has taken like the gacha element of incorporating and implementing a battle pass. The battle pass in 2xKO is not really that egregious yet. Like you could get to quickly get your characters level like up, or the battle pass leveled up quickly if you have like duos. And I think like the time like I played with my boy Orlando, I think I already got the exclusive Yasuo skin, the Blade Song one. I didn't get the Ari one, but I got Yasuo though at least. Now here comes like the con. This is where like the meat of the video will like come in, and that is 2xKO is a Marvel game. So you may ask, like, why should that be like a complaint, right? Or we love like Marvel games like in this house, right? Here's where my argument goes to this with like the very like statement that 2xKO is a Marvel game and it's associated as like a negative con. Marvel games are really good for fighting game fans that really love and just like the idea of long executed combos, mix-ups, and all that stuff. It does not mesh well to a casual of a fighting game, right? It does not mesh well to a casual, which is the very like heart, soul, and essence of what should be the biggest like thing for a fighting game is how will it reach like, you know, someone who has not been into fighting games, right? And 2xKO, through all of its like developer interviews and like quote unquote marketing, this game has been nothing but just fighting game FGC favoritism. This is a Marvel game with a lot of like, you know, nuanced mechanical history from many of the versus games that came before. And so it may feel like it's overwhelming, right? The very thought of like just throwing out an assist and then at the split second tagging will definitely like throw a lot of people off, right? It's confusing. So when you're trying to like make like a fighting game, you want to approach to like casual audiences at all times. And Marvel games, like, albeit, you know, in my honest opinion, is the very like, I feel, antithesis of, you know, getting casuals like in, because there's a lot of like cons within the Marvel archetype of fighting games. One of them being like long combos, right? Long combos are what make up like the cellular DNA of most of these like assist-based fighters. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it before or seen it through me with long combos via Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, MVCI, just long combos that you know, increase the combo mark tally, and just you have to, and if you're getting hit by one of those like long combos, you have to sit there and like do nothing. Luckily, there in 2xKO, there are defensive mechanics, right? Which is like, you know, a pro of 2xKO. There's a lot of defensive mechanics, right? There is advancing guard, or push block, which you press like 2 buttons and then back, it pushes away the opponent, or pushes you away. Or if you have meter to spend, you can press forward during block. You can press forward and light and medium, and you could push the opponent away. that's like push block. But then again, that's like a con too. Like, why should a free like defensive mechanic be tied to meter, right? Which is like kind of like, that's kind of off. But then you have a tag burst, which is kind of like a Guilty Gear burst, which is by spending like the burst gauge and by inputting a tag with the associated super button. So that's good. And then you also have parries, which also cost meter, but it's like if you time your parry, right, to an opponent's attack, then you can interrupt them and you could go for big counter damage. And of course you have wake up moves, right? Invincible DPs. You also have another mechanic, which is like, you know, when a character like gets up, they can hold down S1 or S2 and there's like a big like sphere, like a get off me sphere, and then you could reset the match in neutral, right? So there's a lot of defensive options, right? Which is very like good for a assist-based fighter, because once again, if you get caught in a combo, there's no chance of surviving. If the player is skilled enough, they can either like finish the combo, finish their execution plate, or they could be sneaky and go for a reset and then do the same combo again without your consent or approval, right? So it's very like challenging and intimidating to a casual fan that wants to get into Marvel games or to XKO and has to be potentially subjugated to like an egregious ass whooping, right? It's unfun. There are a lot of my friends that really like Marvel vs. Capcom, that like MVC. Some friends that I even know like MVC 2. But that's all they're gonna say, is that they like MVC 2 and they have fond memories of playing it. But did they really play it, like, competitively, right? MVC 2 is largely like, you know, an egregious game of only like the metas like stay at the top. And if you are good enough in MVC 2, you are going to get bodied in that game, right? It is very like unforgiving. Similarly to like Marvel 3 or Marvel 3, right? My favorite game. A lot like easier, and it's a lot less appealing to the casual eye, but like, dude, that game is like so like bugged that you could just essentially do TODs on people. And yeah, TODs are very like frowned upon in the in the casual audience getting into fighting games. That's like a challenge like in and of itself, is that yeah, casuals are not really like gonna gel well with a fighting game that's kind of unhinged with their combos, and they just have to be subjugated with like long strings a lot of the time. So it's really like rough. My only like suggestion to that, maybe like get like a, what was it, a combo like breaker sort of thing. Like there's already like bursts, but there should be a little bit more defensive options. Like maybe add like another bar, this is like my suggestion, that can break like combos, right? Another like resource. Doesn't have to like waste like the burst gauge, but maybe another meter, like kind of like a Killer Instinct or a Skullgirls situation, right? Skullgirls has like the infinite prevention system, right? Because ultimately this is an assist-based fighter, right? So you're gonna technically have like long strings, and there's gonna definitely be balance patches later down the line when 2XKO comes out, that yeah, some routes are gonna be a little bit you know, overused and monotonous, that everybody knows how to play them. So you have this thing called like the infinite prevention system, that if you know the routes yourself, if you have seen combo videos, if you have like the photographic memory of how like the combo looks, you can like break that combo and you could go in for your own mix, right? So there, or even like Killer Instinct, right? The combo breakers or the counter breakers, right? If you know what your opponent's combo is, you can technically break that. So I would like to have like an infinite like or a combo prevention system outside of like a burst. Maybe that's like my like, you know, hot take on it. But what's important for, like, for a fighting game is getting people into fighting games. Someone who is like completely differently like new. And with League of Legends, like that's the statement is even more agreeable. League of Legends are League of Legends players. They have like no idea what a fighting game is. Their best like fighting game to their knowledge is Smash, and Tekken, right? For the most part, right? They're not gonna like understand all of the assist-based fighting game nuance that comes with 2xKO. I go to like my server, right? Or like my friend circle, and it is pretty much like the 90%, and I'm using that very like, you know, aggressively, 90% of one of my friends like Discord servers, most of them are either League or Valorant players. There are some, like the lucky like 10% that do play fighting games are like, you know, that's like the League audience, or that's like the 2xKO audience, right? Again, 2xKO is a League of Legends fighting game that has a lot of fighting game knowledge, assist-based fighting game knowledge in there. So it's gonna appease a fighting game fan out there. But to a strict like League of Legends fan, like, you know, I know like 90% of like my friends' servers people that like League, are they gonna play 2xKO? Hell no. They'll try it out for like a week or maybe like a day at best. But are they gonna have a long retention or a like a honeymoon phase? Well, definitely a honeymoon phase. But are they gonna have like a long-term relationship with 2xKO? Absolutely not. This game is like overloaded with this game is overloaded with Marvel nuance that it's going to throw a lot of people off. Combos are too long. And if you're playing 2xKO, you have to memorize those combos, right? People can't even remember combos. That's also a valid like that's also like a valid point. You get mixed up real easily, right? These games, these Marvel games are all about like execution, and if you memorize or land the combo, if you've been around that FGC community of assist-based fighters, then you're definitely like Gucci. But if you're not, you're definitely going to struggle, and that like is kind of like a detriment to 2xKO, right? 2xKO ultimately has a lot of potential, has a lot of ambition, right? The game looks superb as hell with a unique like art style, cell shading and everything. Characters have a lot of personality to them, incomparatively so to the lores of League of Legends, so it makes them stand out a little bit more in my honest opinion. But if the game is very complex, like people get into Tekken, which in my opinion, that's even more complex because of legacy skill. And legacy skill is like, yeah, you carry things over from older Tekkens or even King of Fighters games. Korean backdashing, short hops, all of this like nuance that you have to remember from old Tekken or King of Fighters games. That, in my opinion, is even harder, but somehow people love Tekken because of character customization, how photorealistic the characters like look and everything. Will it apply to like 2xKO? No, because it's Marvel. Marvel does not really like gel well with a casual. They will remember 2xKO, but will they play it on like the down low? I don't think so. If you like 2xKO enough, and if you want to get away from the pulse combo, then definitely you're more than welcome to do so. And again, like it's 2xKO, it's a new fighting game, right? There are even like at times where like I saw like on Twitter, There was like a guy I saw that got the 2x KO alpha that did not know how to do combos, right? But did like his first manual combo without like any pulse. And he shouted like a roar of like excitement and jubilee that, damn, that he was impressed with himself. So it's awesome, right? But once again, like I have to, my philosophy is all about like being practical and real to, you know, people out there, right? I don't want to like fill anybody with like hope and like dreams. It's good to hope and dream, but it's also like a good idea to, you know, be safe about like your expectations, or like be safe about what you wish for in life, because this is reality. This is the real world. We hope for stuff and ultimately it comes crashing down. So I'm not trying to like dissuade or, you know, like discourage anybody. Rather, I'm just like giving you the harshest of expectations, right? The bitter pills to swallow. I want 2x KO to succeed, but that's the bitter pill, or that's like the harsh like truth of 2x KO. It is a Marvel game, and it will only like gain attention for maybe about like a month, right? Kind of like a DNF Duel situation. DNF Duel was pretty popular, but the long combos plagued people's perception of DNF Duel, and people dropped it right off the bat and switched on to something else. So the pros, right? Vivid roster, right? Vivid, colorful roster. Fantastic creative gameplay that I haven't felt in a long time. Cool soundtrack, cool lobby, right? But the cons, most of them are like small and like trivial. Like the lobby or the main lobby needs to be like low in the game audio, or the main TV audio needs to be low in the game audio. And then what was it? The tutorial needs to be more fleshed out to introduce more mechanics, right? But dude, but mostly the main con is like it's a Marvel game, and that's like the main turn off for a lot of like new people that want to get into 2x KO, but has to go through, you know, the Marvel style mode. A lot of mix-ups, a lot of resets, a lot of like, you know, combo gripes. You have to learn about combos, you have to learn about long execution, you have to learn about like your characters, right? So there's a lot of like homework. There's a lot of like homework that you have to like learn with 2x KO. But if you're ready to tackle on 2x KO and go dive deep into 2x KO, do it. I'm all for it. But it's kind of like, you know, where it stands. I want 2x KO to be good. I'll definitely play 2x KO. For me, I think 2x KO is great. Definitely like some minor like touches to be there, right? And also with like inputs kind of like a little bit wacky, and the rhythm of 2x KO is a little bit like slow, which makes sense because it is an assist-based fighter, and assist-based fighters are relatively like fast. Like Marvel 2 and Marvel 3 are technically fast, so it will be hard for anybody to like keep up in those games. But this game's pace is like, the rhythm or the beats are like very like slow, so it catches a new player's eye and will help them see and understand, like not just like visually but also, you know, physically, like feeling, right, on like your arcade stick somewhere, right, how it feels for 2x KO, you know? But that's like a small gripe. It's like the rhythm feels like a little bit off, but once you get like used to it, it becomes relatively like clear, you know? So yeah, like 2x KO. I mean, of course, this is an alpha lab, so definitely I hope this reaches like the 2x KO devs. on like just like the cores, right? Not just like, you know, some technical specificities, but just like, you know, what it means to be a Marvel game and how will a Marvel game approach newcomers and how will they have like a long-term, long-lasting effect to a casual to make them be a fighting game fan. How will a die-hard League player transition from League, from just League, to, you know? Because that's where like my philosophy is. That's where like my ideology is, right? As a fighting game content creator, you want to like spread the joy and the fun of fighting games to people who are not used to fighting games. And that's like the big ultimate end all be all of fighting games is to bring in new waves of audiences and make them love fighting games and explore new fighting games. They could definitely stick to like one and let that be that, but there should be more room for these fighting games to, you know, exist and catch people's eye and have them like, you know, try it out and see if they like it or not. If they don't, I mean, that's totally fine. Everybody's entitled, everybody's like, you know, have an opinion and have likes or dislikes, you know? But it's like there's always a moment to try, and trying to XKO as like a fighting game fan, as a Marvel fan who loves like this genre and is like well under received, it's really good. It's really good, you know? So please like give it a shot. I know the 2XKO beta is still like going on, but once the full game like comes out, I definitely like recommend 2XKO as like a good fighting game or as a good introductory Marvel game to new players, right? And definitely like have fun. There's a lot of fun with 2XKO, a lot of creativity and a lot of like soul. Of course, you know, same combos are same combos, but when you start like racking your brain around like the ideas of Marvel style combos, dude, it's like, you know, erotic. It's erotic. It's sexual. You start to notice things about the world that you never saw before, and it's great. So yeah, 2XKO Alpha Lab is pretty legit. I like it.